Well, Hard Yarns, we are looking for some new sponsors. We have some open space at the front of the pod. We've only got alltradescover.com.au this week.
All the sponsors, their contracts have finished, and we might have one of them come back on, and a couple of them are pausing, but they will be back. But yeah, if you want to fill it for at least 3 to 6 months, jump on board.
Yeah, this is prime real estate going out to hundreds and thousands of people and millions on Instagram.
Yes, yeah, we have up
to the hundreds and thousands of people at home.
Every single week, I seem to update our stats.
Yeah.
It's just getting bigger and bigger. So get on quick.
Get on board.
Get on board. But
get on board.
Before we talk about what we spoke about on this episode is brought to our one sponsor.
DanielDelby.com. If you need an MC for your corporate event or comedy, come and check me out.
And you probably get liability insurance with
I do.
All Trades Cover.
Cover.com.au. I'm not with alltradescover.com.au, but I need to... Now that you mention it.
Probably use
them. So if you want any insurance if you're a tradie and you want some, what's the word? Public liability.
Yep.
Do they do public liability?
They do liability insurance.
Liability, all your tools and everything. We can't give specific examples. So ask them and go over to them.
And we've got an episode with John shortly. It's meant to be next week, but it might not work out timing-wise. So maybe we'll push him to the following week if we can. But we'll do is it insured?
Yeah, cool.
That'll be good.
Get him to bring him in.
But yeah, sick. What did we speak about today, man?
We did remote viewing.
Well, remote viewing was that.
Spoke about the Welcome to Country fiasco. A little bit about. We didn't talk about coaching. No, we said pre-pod.
Oh yeah, that's all good.
But I can't remember.
We got Warren Treadway coming up, so we'll save it for him.
Can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
We just talked for a bit.
Yeah. Kate Emery, bad journalism.
Abby Chatfield.
The voting coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go do an early vote because I got to drive fucking to the middle of nowhere tomorrow.
Yeah, so. I still haven't picked, but I think my top one will go, and I don't care what you guys vote for, I'm probably either going to go One Nation, the Libertarians, or... maybe Trump and the Patriots.
Yeah, that's probably how I'm leaning as well.
Yeah. There's a few good ones. There's actually like independents.
You watch the stats, there's like 3,000 people just stop listening here.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'll have a look at it. There's a couple of good things that can help you create your balance.
As long as we fuck the two-party system, it just doesn't. We don't want a two-party system. We want a true democracy where we've got enough people in that will listen to you on all the issues.
Yeah, if we want a good, strong crossbench that can at least examine some of these things that they're trying to pass. So,
but it's not a political episode today, really.
No,
it's a good fun one.
I don't think we touched on policy at all.
No, just each other. Let's get touchy.
All right, let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
All right. Hello, Daniel.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Branch. And hello to all of our listeners, the multiple thousands and thousands of listeners that are tuning in. All the listeners that say, I love your podcast. I listen to it all the time. Which episode? I saw the clips.
You know what?
Shout out to the clip people.
Mate.
Welcome. We welcome you.
A new sponsor coming on. Won't say which company he works for, but he was like, mate, I have top fan badge. And I'm like, sick. And he's like, oh, that episode you did with, I can't remember. We were having a few drinks. And
Boris.
And I said, oh yeah, so like this part. And he's like, no, just full disclosure, I'm a clip man.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. But he's going to sponsor.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah. Well, I was going to go with, I've actually booked a meeting with someone else for what his services are. So maybe I'll have to, well, I'm just going to go, fuck it. I'll just go get extra advice.
I had some advice the other day on crypto.
Yeah.
Well, not just crypto, super.
Yeah.
Mate, fuck, super's, it's weird.
What do you mean? It's all timing, right?
It's so complicated.
No, it's not.
To a point, it is like what you can do with it.
So like if you want to use it now.
No, if I want to invest, if I want to self-manage.
Yeah.
And what tax benefits I'll get long-term if I was to do property instead or.
Yeah.
Because you can use it to invest in property.
Yeah. But
Yeah. So that
yeah,
more
your
so,
returns aren't as good on property as they are on shares.
Well, this was a complicated
Yeah.
thing, and maybe we should get someone on to talk about that because that was fucking.
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love to get a financial advisor on. But they don't want to give all the advice away for free. But at the same time, if they do a great episode, they'll get so much more business.
Correct. Yeah.
So financial advisors.
Well, Teddy.
Oh, sweet.
So maybe
Okay.
one of our.
I thought he
sponsors.
was a mortgage broker.
Yes, but he
both.
has a lot of obviously has knowledge on
Yeah.
financial things, but he's not legally allowed to do some things, which I tried to ask if he could do stuff, and I didn't realize there are people
What,
who
like
can and can't do things.
Tie you up and call you.
Well, I just realized there's things that
You're
you
like,
can
"Dear
and can't.
finance daddy.
Yeah, there's things you can and can't do, certain brokers and whatnot. And
As in, like, you can take their advice, but it's just not legally binding. But they just can't process it.
things
Yeah.
for you, set things up, or
Fucking, man, red tape is ridiculous. Even like buying a house, you need a settlement agent. And they make like $1,500 for organising the paperwork of a settlement for a house.
yeah.
Like,
You can do
then
it.
you got
You can
stamp
do it
duty.
yourself.
Can you?
Yeah, but it's not
Wow.
like like if
I
you-
wouldn't. That's why.
Exactly.
Oh, it makes sense. That's
I
why
think-
they pay. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, you
exactly.
get paid this dumb marriage celebrant.
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
can do it yourself. Oh, there's laws.
Yes, there's laws. So there's all this shit that you don't want to fuck around with that. But, I've had friends who've done a lot of their, like, they've sold their house, they've done everything themselves, and it's a lot.
And currently renting.
yeah.
There's a lot of extra shit. Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's that old adage where you're like, oh, I can save money if I do it myself. And I saw this awesome, he was actually marketing his business, but it was very guerrilla. It was a guerrilla marketing Instagram reel.
Yeah.
Because I'm a clip guy.
Yeah.
So he was like, this guy asked me to do his back wooden patio, just the steps, like arching down, right? So he quoted him, and then the guy came back and was like, oh, I'll just do it myself. He goes, yeah, no worries. And
Yeah.
then the guy went out and he bought the equipment, he bought the tools, then he had to ask for the knowledge. And by the end of it, it ended up costing the guy twice as much.
And his time.
And his time.
Yeah.
And he's like, wouldn't it have just been easier to
Yeah.
fucking book me to do
I've-
it? I'm like,
I've been getting to that point.
Yeah.
Like, I was one of those people, like, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
And there's things I still do myself, like, if you can. But
masturbate.
yeah, got to do that one yourself. Better if you get someone to do it for you.
Absolutely. All a man needs to be happy. A little blowy or a resty once a week.
Yeah. But I've started to lean towards, if I can pay someone and to get it done, fuck it, just do it.
Yeah. If you've got the expendable income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
I
actually.
find a lot of stuff that you need to pay people for are mostly luxury things anyway that are not necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, I've got to paint my house. Could have done it,
Yeah.
you know, if I really wanted to, but, you know, I'm in a fortunate enough position to be able to, A, support my mate who's a painter, and B, give him the money, like have the money to do that. It's not essential. I could live in a house without a new paint job.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But it's buying you time, well, paying for your time and effort as well, that you can go, well, as long as you're not lazy and just do nothing.
Yeah.
Unless rest is something you're actively trying to do.
Yeah.
But I've started to, I've changed my opinion on what I should be doing with my money. And I still will buy luxuries and material things. It's that'll never stop, but it will never be prioritized. It'll be experiences. But what I found as another thing, and you've just done this, is put money into yourself, which is health,
Yeah.
or things that are investing in your future. So
Like sports bet.
yeah. So for me, like I might and over whether I should, buy this course from Dr. Sally Price.
Yeah.
But then I'll go and spend $250 on a night out drinking beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, well, one is actually negative towards your health. One's helping your health, or even in a different way. I'll spend $100 on a t-shirt like that.
Yeah.
And then whether I should buy some supplements and creatine.
Yeah. It's all, like, I can't remember what the name of it is. It's not relevancy. It's like if I have $100 on my Bet365, for me, that's like $1.
Yeah.
But if I go to a store and I see
Yeah.
shorts
Yeah.
are $100, I'm like,
What the fuck?
100, and that will last me a whole year.
Yeah.
Of these new shorts. $100 might last me fucking 10 minutes on the footy.
Yeah.
And I'm more happy to spend that.
What is that?
It's the E equals MC squared, theory of relativity.
Oh, really?
So like if 60 seconds, if you're having sex, it will feel like an hour. And
60
ladies,
seconds,
it
that's
is
generous.
an hour. But if you're sitting on a hot stove bare-assed, that's going to, 60 seconds will feel like 10 seconds, right, when you're having sex. But if you're sitting on a stove bare-assed, that's going to feel like an hour.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
I see what you mean.
So...
yeah, well, that's. And so I'm changing.
And if you're fucking your cousin on the stove,
then you're.
that's Tasmanian because you're all relative.
So,
theory of relativity.
Speaking of that relativity, then, so I'm trying to change mine to like, don't and ah over the health things. Like if I want to buy some supplements or something for my health or something that's going to be a cool experience, and then and ah over the material. Do I need that T-shirt?
Yeah. If you're supporting a mate's business or like Daniel Delby D+ shirts, that's fine. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree.
I'll get a couple. Did you say they're hoodies?
They're crew necks.
Crew necks.
Yeah.
I'll buy.
No,
is it pink?
There's a pink shirt and grey crew neck. So the pink is the oversized tee.
Yeah, I want the pink.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
I want a pink. I'll wear it on here all the time.
I'll just give you one.
Speaking of,
but it is like
clothing
it's unisex,
sponsors, we would like to get some clothing sponsors.
Yeah.
So if you do have a local business that you want us to wear it for free,
that's right. Yep. If anyone's a local designer or wants to
manifest it.
Well, we will have a clothing sponsor.
Yeah, there we go.
Before I go away
good.
to Edinburgh, we will have a clothing sponsor. We will wear, as long as it's good. I'm only wearing it if I believe in it, if I like it.
That's done, though.
Sorry, if you send me a shit, if you send it to us and I'm like, oh, dude, no, this is really cool. This see-through mesh,
also like
t-shirt for public.
Also, you
Blazing Swan.
You wouldn't like.
You wouldn't steal a car.
Yeah, you wouldn't steal a car, but there's certain styles that you wouldn't wear. Like I don't wear certain styles.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah. So if you know anyone that's got like specifically, I mean, Perth, it doesn't have to be Perth because we are now becoming a worldwide pod.
Yeah.
Well, we are a worldwide pod.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, that's good.
If you have any clothes, and we'll wear it, and so it'll be seen in all the clips.
Speaking of being a worldwide pod, why didn't they mention us in this political podcasting game?
Turns out we're not that big, bro.
Like, even, and I was meant to mediate a political debate amongst quite a few of those people.
Yeah.
Like last Wednesday.
Well, we're being left out, mate. Even the boxing, we didn't get an invite for that. Is it
because we're
boxing?
WA?
Maybe, or maybe just the algorithm is showing us to the extremists.
Yeah.
So, but
these are the people who were, and we got bigger following than the people who were on there.
Yeah. Well, if you look at why the media are including them, potentially it's because they're not hitting too many truths.
Oh well,
if we're not invited, we've hit too many truths, and I don't want to shine a light on it.
Well, what I found interesting on the influencer debate.
I'd say for people that don't know what I'm talking about, there was an article in the West Australian, and it was saying that the media aren't allowed to influence the election 3 days out or something. They have to do a media radio silence, so they can't comment. Mm-hmm. But then all of the online influencers aren't under the same laws, so they can really shift people's opinion.
So what I found interesting about that newspaper article is they showcased the left. The left. Yep. There's a political debate, I think it was on SBS, between the sort of left and the right, and from an influencer point of view, from people who have been doing their stuff on social media, and had a couple of people who've been on this podcast, Joel Jamal and Punters Politics, both were on there on opposition sides. But
that'd be good for the next boxing match.
Yeah. Left and the right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Left, right, good night.
Yeah, right, good night. That's but they showcased for some reason only punters, Abby Chatfield and I can't remember her name. The three lefties. And look, I wouldn't consider punters completely left. Like he's a bit more. He's just been on that side just because they had to put him in a category. He would be more neutral. He is a bit of a greenie though, I guess. But yeah, they showcased those three and not the other three, for whatever reason.
Well, who knows? Abby Chatfield's a fucking retard. Like straight out, I'm sorry to say. Like I went and stayed down south with my friend Joni, and she was a big supporter of her early, and even she's just gone. I can't listen to her anymore. I just can't.
So I've been engaging on her content from our podcast to try and like instigate a potential chat or a podcast because I did say that.
She's got no brain, bro. She's just a mouthpiece for dumb ideas that she sees, and she's a virtue signaler.
And this is what I said to my partner. I was like, I was watching some of the clips, and I was like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can even handle it.
No,
Like,
she'd be a terrible guest,
yeah,
I think. But get her on, and
I don't know if it would be good.
well,
I think
just
it would be.
act like we can get her on, but like,
Yeah,
she's just a girl that got famous and is now just doing what she thinks people think is right. She's saying what she thinks is right.
she does think it's right. Yeah.
Which is never a bad thing, but could be worse. Could be Kate Emery. She is an absolute. Honestly,
yeah.
I can't believe that they even. She has to be a troll, but it doesn't make sense because she does written.
Yeah.
So like, I sent you that article. Did you read it, bro?
Yeah, it's pretty poor.
It's horrific.
I don't know, mate. Like
It is horrific.
Yeah. Speaking of people we don't agree with, like there's people who are opposition, and there are people who are what we'd like to call a retarde.
Retarde. Fuck, that word is back in vogue.
It is back.
But it's good because it doesn't mean like someone with special needs. It just means like dumb cunt, basically.
It means your brain is physically
slower than the rest of us.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah. So her argument was banning trans women from public toilets will harm all women. No, it won't, cunt. No, it won't. It will not harm women to have women in the bathroom instead of someone with a cock.
Yeah.
And even if a trans woman is completely not interested in women at all, we know for a fact that there are fucking so many sex offenders, so many guys that have mental issues that want to be in there, and you don't know what they're going to do.
And they would.
I don't know how many real life cases there's been.
Yeah.
But I would rather just be completely safe.
They're on the side of caution.
Of course. How hard is it for them to use a disabled toilet? That's why it's there. It's not even for disabled people.
Well, one would argue they are disabled.
Well, there you go. So, but it's not even for disabled. It's for everyone. It's the disabled toilet is I forgot what the name of it is, but it is there for people in wheelchairs, but also it's for everyone.
Yeah, ambulant.
Ambulant. I never knew what that meant.
What does ambulant mean?
I don't know. I thought it was like emergency, because first time I saw it was on Holy Ship, I think, and it was like ambulance. I'm like, fuck, I might need an ambulance. I ever tell you that what I did on Holy Ship, and I fucking
with what's his name? The singer, the
DJ.
No.
That was the Skrillex's hairdresser.
Skrillex hairdresser.
No, that was it was. I thought it was gonna be funny. It's one thing I've confessed to, and I've been forgiven for it. Confession a lot.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes it all better.
Yeah. I thought it'd be funny because there was a big line for the toilets and the disabled one was free. And I was like, oh, this would be hell funny because I was fucked up. I was like a day and a half in. Went in and came out. But when I came out, I pushed the door open and just crawled out on my forearms and just crawled past the line expecting like people laughing. Everyone was just looking at me like I was a piece of shit. And after about 15 meters on the floor, I was like, oh, this isn't funny, eh? I was by myself. I was like on my own.
That feels hard. It
was so bad. It feels so bad, dude. But whatever. Sometimes you try. That's the worst I've ever bombed.
Yeah, that's
sometimes you try
because it's funny. It's funny
not.
If you were with all your mates and they were watching you come out.
Yeah,
that might have been.
It was so bad. I was getting crickets. Man.
Oh fuck. Before we get into some stuff. I messaged you. I already watched Mr. Robot, and I've been talking about it the last few weeks. Keep talking about it. It's fucking the best. It is the best. And I watched. So, best thing about Mr. Robot, rewatching it, I'd forgotten almost all of it because it's so complicated, so hard to follow.
How many seasons?
Only 4.
Right.
And there's about 10 to 12 episodes.
Yeah, cool.
So, like, if you're able to follow it, you can get it done pretty quick. But it is perfect. Even the ending is perfect. Right. It's not one of these Game of Thrones things where you go, they just rushed it. They did it all.
Do you think people appreciate a perfect ending, or do you think people appreciate having a bitch more? Like, oh, that was so good until this was shit. I would have done it this way.
Like me and Grace spoke about it for like an hour after, like all the parts and the beauty of the cinematography of it that's something more personal to me. I love the shots and the scenery and how they do that. But something that a TV series that antipathizes what our theme is without even knowing it. It's about government corruption, digital cryptocurrencies, hacking, psychology, the sort of
sex robots.
no, the different self that you bring up to protect yourself in certain situations, the healing childhood trauma, and parallel universes. The Deus group, which is the equivalent of the World Economic Forum that runs the world.
Yeah.
It is just the and the ending is perfect.
Right. Sounds a little similar to the 3%, the Brazilian series, but without the parallel.
Now, obviously, this finished in 2016, so they even include
prediction.
Well, they sort of include, I think it was 2016 or 17 it finished. They even include like Obama and Trump at the time in their sort of like storyline.
Okay.
It's so clever, man.
Wow.
It is fucking incredible. And I think it might be, honestly, to be fair, I think it's finishing up on Prime like today.
Wow.
So you might not be able to watch it on Prime, but find it wherever you can.
Well, yeah. For legal purposes.
It's a fucking head fuck to watch.
I like the ones where you got to think and there's espionage and there's backing and backstabbing and
well,
revealing.
at the start as well, the way it starts, people are going to think I'm fucking selling this as a show. I'm just like, it's very thought-provoking in so many ways because it gives you a bit of a healthy understanding of probably, even though it's fictional, what the world is like. But just the way it's written and the way it starts as a series and the way it finishes are so polar. They're so worlds apart.
Radicalization.
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
well, I mean, I see you, Mr. Robot, and I raise you a Black Mirror season 7.
Oh, I've started watching.
So good.
So now,
so good. Everything is so fucking good. They rarely miss.
I have a qualm. This is my only qualm. I can't watch it before going to bed.
Yeah, because it fucks with your head too much.
Yeah. So Grace watches it before, like as a bedtime going to bed thing. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I can't have some guy strangling some guy in the living room while I'm trying to go to sleep. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. The computer guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I can't have that going on in the background.
Yeah.
But yes, fuck. Okay, so
Epic. Season 7, and look.
Now, what I will love about Black Mirror, before you talk about season 7, I've watched maybe total out of, I don't know how many seasons or
7
episodes,
seasons.
How many episodes there are.
There's about 45, I reckon.
I reckon I've watched 5. Loved them all.
What the fuck?
Because I don't watch it.
Bro.
I know, I got to. But I've watched like 5 episodes, loved them all. But because it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
like order, nothing.
Yeah, which I think is the beauty of it.
That's the best part.
Doesn't hook ya.
They're just different characters, different actors.
Except for season 7 has a sequel to season 6's. Actually, it might even be season 4. You wouldn't have seen it.
No.
The Star Trek one?
No.
Fuck, bro.
So recommend me go through, watch the whole lot?
100%.
Every episode?
There's only like 2 or 3 which are fucking pretty average. Where you're like, ugh, that's...
What a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still not, because they're all thought-provoking. They are all commenting on the impact that technology has on our lives.
I did like the episode in season 7 about the keeping the person alive.
What, with the clone of the one that comes back?
The brain or something?
Oh, where it goes into the brain, so the second person is still...
No, the husband and they have to pay, and it ups their bills.
Oh, that's season 7. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's intense. Because that could happen.
Yes.
You know, that could happen in the next fucking 100 years or whatever. Yeah, was
a subscription-based keeping it alive.
That's right. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's so, and then turning into ads and shit.
Oh, no.
The writing's unreal.
Yeah, very, very good, man. Very good. I like things that make you question things. And then, but the only, going back to Mr. Robot, actually, and this is where the thing, these sorts of things, they come into your mind. And the fact that I've already watched this series and it's finished and I'd forgotten it, have I subliminally, and this is what I spoke to about Grace, because even down to the final song in the final episode, the final scene, and the awakening moment, the big reveal moment and the perfect ending is M83's outro, which we end up using for all of our clips. That is like the big awakening moment clips. And I'm wondering, have I subliminally taken all of this information?
Yeah, of course. It happens all
or
the time.
is it just like it aligns with everything that we've been looking
I reckon
into.
there's definitely always subliminal influences. When you look at Darren Brown, whenever there's hypnosis or future impacting your decisions,
Because
it's always we're not as independent as we think.
even coming down to the letting go of your old self that you built to protect yourself.
Yeah. So Mr. Robot's basically fucked your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like even that, like
Yeah.
we've talked about that concept quite a few times,
Yeah.
and that's a big part of that. And
Well, mate,
it's a part that I
yeah.
forgot about.
I
you
feel
know,
maybe that's just synchronicities because it is like
did
it's
I
just-
watch it?
They've probably had a similar ethos of life.
Yeah,
the writer,
yeah.
you know?
And did I just watch this at the right time?
Maybe, but the
'cause
fact that you love it so much probably means that it has influenced you.
potentially, but I just remember not understanding it very well the first time I watched it,
Mm.
and I just remember at the end I was a bit confused and didn't quite understand. I have vague memories of that, and then this time just going, oh, magnificent! You've done so well.
Yeah.
Sam Esmail, I think his name is, the guy who wrote it. Remy Malik, incredible. Christian Slater, incredible. Oh, it's good.
Christian Slater, the guy from Point Break.
Is he in Point Break? I can't
Is
remember. No, that you're talking about Keanu Reeves.
No, the other guy. That's
Christian Slater, he's in everything.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, was he the Invisible Man or whatever that one was? Yeah. He looks like the guy that was the What's that movie about how the guy becomes invisible and then goes crazy? Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
Is
Kevin
that
Bacon.
Christian Slater?
That's
is that
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
That's Kevin Bacon.
But yeah, I know Christian Slater. Yeah, right. That's good.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, my biggest fear, the thing that really always resonates with me with the Black Mirror one, and I don't know what Mr. Robot, if it's reality or AI or whatever, but
Yeah.
I've learned that the idea of infinite life without death is that makes my stomach turn.
Yeah.
Being stuck in eternity without an exit.
Well, that's what
fucking-
makes it worth living, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like seeing these ones, any Black Mirror episode where someone's stuck in an eternal loop to live like forever, every giant thoughts with no way to die. That's hell to me.
Yes.
And then I was like, well, fuck. If God's been around for eternity, he's got to that point, so he's figured out how to not live for eternity and put his soul into us so he can experience.
Well, that's the whole
life
Alan
and
Watts
death.
concept of like if you were God and you'd lived every experience that you could ever live and you did everything you ever wanted, you get bored of it.
100%.
And
I
so
would
you'd
hate it.
eventually
you'd want to die.
Yeah, you'd get eventually to a point where you teach yourself to
To
forget
forget,
and
yeah.
try to learn, and then to a point where
We
you're
call that girls in relationships.
yeah, and you'd get to a point where you are where you are now.
Yeah. I mean, that's so fucking logical.
That's why Alan Watts, man. Like, if you were to listen to Alan Watts lectures on repeat, your life would change. That's what like, I guess, and I don't have the time to do that now. They're fucking hour-long lectures from the 70s. But like when I was at work, when I used to be the sheet metal worker welding for an hour and a half, for 8 hours a day, and you get bored, you'd chuck on an hour and a half lecture of Alan Watts, and you'd be like, oh, I need to listen to that again to take in what
I'd like to know what his personal life was like.
Terrible.
What a fuckhead then.
So he
Do as I
became-
say, not as I do.
Yes. Well, no, he lived his ethos, and that meant he strained his relationship with his family and friends and his children, apparently, is what I've read.
Obviously, then there's no merit to what he's been saying.
His ethos was everything is nothing and nothing is everything, basically. It's like it doesn't matter, you know.
Nihilist.
It was more of a like just live in the present, live with love, and just be.
Yeah.
Which is great, but obviously that meant because he treated everyone the same, it strains his relationship with his family.
Yeah, right.
As what I've read, apparently, but doesn't mean what he said isn't very important and pretty. It's very thought provoking. Yeah, all the times you hear like the background narrative of like an inspirational quote. It's a lot of the time it's Alan Watts.
Yeah.
Talks like this. You see.
Yeah.
It's very old.
Yeah.
You're it.
Well, I had what I have. I had one more talking point. Oh, yeah, I did Mandurah Teach Comedy Night. It was awesome.
Oh, sick.
So thank you to anyone that was down Mandurah way that came. The main thing was I've sold fucking like 14 calendars and like 6 shirts and jumpers. Like my whole Queensland run, that was like my total for 5 shows. So
Okay.
one show and it covered. I don't know if anyone else has experienced Jetstar charging you for extra baggage.
Yeah.
I got charged $520 excess baggage. I was like, what, can't? This is more than the flight. I could get a person, carry on and check luggage for less. And they were just so unhelpful, so fucked. I was showing them, because I booked it in Qantas. Qantas said to go to Jetstar to get the extra bag.
You should have done that. You should have gone and booked a ticket for another person. And
yeah, I had 3 minutes before the gate closed. So I was kind of like, I was fucked. Because with Sydney, if you take a wrong turn, I was 4 minutes from the airport.
Yeah.
I fucking missed the turn off and it added 22 minutes.
Mate, I accidentally, on our trip to Thailand, when you book the luggage in the booking, it's at like 80 or 90 bucks.
$5,
Something
whatever.
like that for your luggage. And then if you don't, so if I accidentally put it one way but not the second way, you have to click them both. I didn't realise. I just fucked it up. And we went to book for the luggage at, I think this was in Bali, and it cost us like $250 just for the luggage.
Annoying.
And then it was like $30 for extra kilos
Every kilo.
over.
It's not fair. It doesn't make sense.
No. What about that? I'm not being rude, but what about that fucking person over there that's weighs
fucking 100
38
kilos more than
more?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm a massive thing on they need to create some sort of scale for your height and weight, not a BMI, like height and weight that makes it fucking fair and equitable. Because why should I have to spend $520 on an extra 25 kilos when this cunt that's the same height as me is bringing 25 kilos of fucking fat on the plane? It's bullshit. And it's not discrimination. It's just fucking like it's
logical.
fairness.
Yeah,
it's fairness.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. But also, I was like, well, I'm not getting angry at Jetstar. It's my fault. I knew I was going home. I could have fucking booked it last night instead of this morning.
Yeah.
So
good
yes,
self-accountability.
on me.
Good.
But the universe looked after me because it was $520 excess and I sold $575 of merch. So I was like, this box isn't even worth that. You know?
Okay,
And
yeah.
then
So it's paid for
it
itself.
it didn't pay for itself.
Yeah.
It's paid for the excess baggage.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
yeah.
about $4,000 down.
Okay.
But the support was great. And like doing my show afterwards, I had these like girls come up that were teachers and deputies and they were like, can't believe you do this. Like you do this for full time. I said, yeah, like I was a
so
teacher.
good.
And they're like, how did you do it? And I explained, like my boss gave me a year without paint. She's like, you should write a book. And I was like, what for? She's like, it's not normal.
Yeah.
Because I was telling them all the shit I do. I was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
no, I mean, what am I going to say? She's like, it doesn't matter. Like the fact you've been able to do all these things and you're doing the dream, you should write a book. I'm like, fuck yeah, that'd be
I think
pretty
the
cool, but-
podcast is your book.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
Audio book. Way easier for everyone.
I wonder. Yes,
If we get a
definitely.
super fan that can just clip up both me and you, our journey
Well,
over the
and-
year and just stitch it together would be so interesting.
Well, I looked into like, I wonder if you could do that. Like, I wonder if you could go like, here's the journey, and then turn it into a thing. And I said to ChatGPT, can you do it? And what you can do is you can get the transcript for every episode and it'll analyze it and then turn it into a thing. And it takes a few days for it to analyze and do it all, but you could do. But then you need to have the transcript, and the transcript is not necessarily available through Spotify for every episode.
Right. Yeah. Well, it'll get there eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was nice. It was great to get so much support down there. But
That's good.
if anyone's in Perth, teach comedy at Astor Theatre. I've got just under 2 weeks left. I've got 120 seats left in the bottom section of the theatre, and then we can open the top. So would love to sell it out. So come and support. Even if you're not a teacher, it's funny for you if you've been to school. So,
How much for the top and bottom?
it's 976 total.
Sick. So
seats.
you'll open that, I think.
So I've
2 weeks left. You'll sell a shitload last minute.
I hope so. Yeah. Perth Comedy Fest reposted today for me as well, so that's lucky. Like,
Is
they
it
don't
for
normally-
Perth Comedy
Yeah.
Fest?
So they're like, yeah, we'll take that on. And like financially, it's actually a smarter move because when you do it on your own, like I did last year, my fees were going to be between 9 and 12 grand, like regardless. And so I took all that risk on myself. With the Perth Comedy Fest, it's just a 75-25 split.
Yeah.
So even if I did $6,000 sales,
Yeah.
like it's way, but they need to accept the show. So like, it's not everybody that will just get given a theatre.
What's your is it a Wednesday night?
Saturday night, 8
A
o'clock.
Saturday night.
Yeah, like about week 3 or week 4. So it's during school. So that's good. Which
Oh,
I
so
think
it's-
last year I did it during
So
school.
it's
as well.
during school.
Yeah. It's not
Didn't
the
you do a
holidays.
Wednesday night like during school holidays last year?
No, last year I did
Or a Friday night. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. So pretty cool.
That's sick, man.
Yeah. And we got confessional, and so if you want to check that out, we're only doing one show for the whole year in Perth. It's fucking epic.
Yeah.
It's the best show ever.
Yeah, okay.
So come check that out, May 10th.
I was actually going to talk to you about, like, and I don't know about Fringe next year, if you're going to be able to sneak in a Hard Yarns show.
Yeah, we can do it. We plan it ahead.
I think I'm just going to do 4, one a week. Just like to really just go.
What would you do? What would the setup be?
Either a me and you like conspiracy fun one, where people bring in their own conspiracies. And
so just copying Andy's show. That's people laughing at conspiracies. That's Andy's show.
Yeah,
people bring their conspiracies in and talk about it.
Yep, that's exactly what we're going to steal.
But we were
show.
doing it first. So that's all good.
And then or just like a Hard Yarns showcase, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah,
like and just get some good comedians.
Yeah,
to come on. But then I was also thinking about doing one with Wolfie and just doing naming it like All Star Comedy. So it's at the top with A, and just doing a showcase.
That'd be the way to go. And just plug the Hard Yarns at those shows.
Yeah, and just put it on like every Friday and Saturday night through the festival, or something like that. And
no, because we don't really get comedy guests on anymore. You're probably better just having a show and then mentioning Hard Yarns.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll have a look at it, and I do want to get more comedy guests on anyway. But we've been fucking inundated with people messaging, trying to get on and stuff. It's good. It's good that people want to come on, and we're reaching people. But I do have some fun shit to discuss, mate.
Yep, I got one. Speaking of conspiracies, I didn't send this to you. I don't know if I sent it to you. This was in the paper last week.
Ooh.
The title of the article is "Conspiracy Theory Lure Hard to Resist." So,
okay,
people desperate to find meaning in their lives,
oh my god,
could be more drawn to conspiracy theories and dangerous belief systems, according to new research. Probably funded by the left. Social psychologist Ari Kruglansky and journalist Dan Raviv say the uncertainty in modern society and the feeling of loss of significance it can create can suggest worst-case scenarios are possible. The pair believe the loss of significance people around the world have been experiencing makes them vulnerable to narratives that acknowledge their fears and anxieties and blame some agent or entity for nefarious plots and actions aimed at humiliating and diminishing them, as in like taking no responsibility for their circumstances.
I mean, I kind of
there's
agree.
definitely truth to that.
Yep.
But then when you find out that some systems are put in place to put the elite above. Oh, actually, that brings me. I'll keep talking about that. Just remind me. As important aspect of those narratives has been a call to arms against the party or parties allegedly responsible for these evil machinations. In recent years, there has been a proliferation of conspiracy theories identifying an assortment of culprits as the enemy that must be violently confronted and whose satanic plans must be aggressively thwarted. So they've just written off every. I mean, it's such a fucking delicate fucking line, isn't it?
Smearing everything with the same brush is silly. But when you find something that's just very obviously like government incentives to prioritize gas tax laws and benefit the offshore and international corporations that are profiting, that's not a conspiracy.
Yeah.
But they will paint everything off as a conspiracy theory.
It just sucks. I think early days conspiracies were, for the most part, just nut jobs. But now you've got internet, freedom of information. You've got encrypted text messaging apps where people can share information more freely.
Yeah.
So it's not essentially a conspiracy anymore. But then there are still fucking crazy ones that people would use.
Yeah, of course.
One of you'll know this one, but like the one that really spiked my interest that I forgot about, I reckon we spoke about it like first 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Is that the women to vote was framed as this power for women, this feminism movement, like, let's let women vote. But the reality was that the government wanted women to vote because now they can have double the tax because you have a whole new workforce. Women to work and vote. Oh, yeah. Right? If they can vote, they can be taxed. And if they can vote, they can work. So women to work in the 60s or whenever it was, it's great. It's this movement. But the truth and the sinister reason behind it was so you could get twice as much income tax.
Oh.
That's
so
fucked.
you think they use the the objective of a good idea
Correct. Yeah.
to profit from.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah,
so
where
many
we see-
times.
Yeah, I mean, because it is a beautiful idea that women have the right to vote, the right to work, to be who they want to do, or be who they want to be, and all that. That's a beautiful idea. Great stuff. But yeah, profiting from it.
I
Perfect.
don't like
I get
that it's
that.
broken down the family nucleus as well. Like,
Yes, yeah.
and the gender role is like, yeah, fuck, everyone should work, but like demonization of a mum that wants to stay at home and fill that role is by her peers and by society.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to work, you're lazy.
What if their purpose
Fuck
is
that.
being a
Yeah.
like? What if their deep inner purpose is to be a mum?
Yeah, but even a dad, if a dad wanted to stay home and let mum work, fucking whatever.
Yeah,
But
gay.
yeah, the demonization of that is just so
Yeah.
it's so frustrating
Yeah.
because like there's nothing wrong with being a mum and having a strong mother figure at home, making sure that everything works. Like, yeah, that sounds chauvinistic, but it's not.
No.
See, that's the thing that society's done. For me to say that, they'll go misogynist, he's a chauvinist.
Yeah.
But reality is like it's healthy. If I was out busting my ass, I would like someone at home making sure that runs well, and then when we get home, bang. And same vice versa. If my missus was out, I would want to make sure that everything's done with the kids, and I'm not going to have kids, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just healthy relationships.
Yeah.
It's not even gender roles. It's
Yeah.
just a healthy relationship.
And that's why, like, when it's as soon as you say something like that, you're deemed as a misogynist or a anti-woman or whatever. You get deemed these terms, and then they say, "Oh, well, aren't you for equality of genders?" And you're like, "Of course I am," but that doesn't necessarily mean I think that women can do what men do.
Yeah.
And I don't think that
Maybe
men,
it means I think that she's better than me.
Well, I
at
think
some things
Well,
than I am.
I think we're both equally as important.
Yeah.
Men and women.
Yeah.
But do I think we're both equal? No. And there's nothing wrong with suggesting that.
Yeah.
And like what a woman brings to the table and the nurturing nature and empathy and the way they can problem solve is far better than what a man can do, broadly speaking. So why wouldn't we celebrate the two differences?
I
and
disagree on the problem. The amount of time girls come to me with problems and I'm like, oh, just do this. They're like, I don't want you to tell me the answer. Just listen. Wow, fucking hell. This is so simple. I have the solution for you. This will not be an issue tomorrow. And they get mad.
Just leave for
Yeah.
work earlier.
Yeah. Just don't be Cheryl's friend. Like, it's so simple.
Yes, but yeah, no, they do just want you to listen.
Speaking of not being equal, like they can birth a child, we can't. No matter what you say in 2025, men can't. I was at a wedding on Saturday, sitting with the vendors,
Yeah.
and two of them were pregnant, and they asked me. They said, "Oh, did you have a VBAC?" And I'm like, "What's a VBAC?" And she said, "Oh, it's a vaginal birth after cesarean." I go, "What's the point of that?" She go, "What?" I go, "Why would you want it to come out just to push it back in?" Sorry, I started losing it.
What, so they get their natural?
No. So this is what I thought with you.
Yeah.
So a VBAC is a vaginal birth after cesarean.
Yeah.
They said it like that. I'm like, what? Like
Yeah.
a toaster? Like the kid pops up. Nah, not done yet. Put
Yeah,
it back in.
and push it
squeeze
out.
it out. She goes, no, it's for my second kid. So the first one was a cesarean. And the one down the track is vaginal birth.
Oh my Lord.
So I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you?
Okay.
That
Yeah.
would be like,
That's
what you think
confusing.
we're cutting it out.
Pop up like
Pop
a
up.
fucking toaster, man.
Push it back.
There's a
through.
bit in that, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure. But
Definitely.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's something I can't do as a woman. But yeah, the I told you to remind me of something as I was reading that story out. So talking about the divide in society between the those that are in power, the elite, that would potentially create a conspiracy, and those that aren't. I'm listening to a great audiobook at the moment, Trading Game by Gary Stevenson, I think his last name is.
Okay.
So he was one of the youngest traders ever, and worked for Citibank and was like a multi-millionaire at like 23. The way he got there, he's like this, essentially like a Wanneroo boy
Yeah.
who was great at numbers, and he won this trading game.
Really?
Where like you'd have to work out a value based off, essentially like mirroring
Yeah.
currency trades or stock markets.
Yeah.
And he won. I won't give away the spoiler because it's fucking brilliant the way he got.
Yeah.
Like, the way he won is incredible. But he's come to learn that there's they're bleeding out the middle class. There's no, it's literally, he's a numbers guy. All the wealth is held by.
Well, they were. That seems to be changing. But
all the wealth's been held by 80, 90% of the people that are already wealthy, and it's going to them, and it's creating no wealth in the middle, and all the lower class are just getting fucked, because the thing that stimulates an economy is spending, but the rich people aren't spending. They've just got their money invested, and it's not circulating. So it's ruining everything. So he's seen that, and he quit. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through, but I've seen him on interviews, especially like Piers Morgan and all that, and he's quit because he's seen the state of the world, and he's so disenfranchised with what it's doing. He's trying to.
So this is what was so interesting about the crash only a few weeks ago, where the market lost 10% of its value. And everyone's like, oh, he's hurting everyone. Well, he's hurting the elites.
Yeah, that's
Like,
all. Yeah.
I think it's 80 to 90% of the share market is held by a small 1%.
Yeah.
Or maybe top 10% or whatever. And
speak to the everyday person; they wouldn't have shares in any of that.
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah.
So all the billions of dollars that were lost by the elite.
Yeah.
And then that was an opportunity for the middle class to then go, cash in on the dip.
Yeah.
Buy back up.
If they were smart, otherwise the elite would just buy more and get richer.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the elite don't have the capital to buy because they've
lost it.
Yeah. It's in the shares. So it was a wealth transfer, but there will be more, I think.
Yeah.
My opinion. But
you were talking about crypto earlier with your super. What's the?
I wouldn't give.
We'll wait for a financial advisor.
Yeah, because Cash and Nate's going to either fly here to talk about it, or do a Zoom. Okay. But I am moving all of my super into crypto.
Yeah,
all of it.
Okay, could be awesome or it could be shit.
Well, just because it's long term. If it was for a short term thing, I'd be probably buying on the dip in the share market and whatnot. But because long term, and there's no once BlackRock is the second biggest owner of Bitcoin on the planet.
Oh wow!
So the biggest investment broking company.
How do they know that? But I know because you can see on the blockchain.
Yeah,
the blockchain was
the blockchain. That's
the old Americans.
Yeah, so they are, and I think the biggest owner is Yoshimoto Zenodo, whatever his name is, the creator of Bitcoin.
But that's who is that? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's correct. That could be just a thing. But before we get on to remote viewing, because I've got a sick thing on remote viewing. Just quickly.
How long have we been going?
47 minutes.
All right, cool.
I want to chat about the booing at the Anzac Day service.
Yeah.
So booing
piss poor.
Yeah. So booing the welcome to country.
Piss poor still.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm for this whole idea of let's tone it back a little bit. The welcome to country, you're diluting what something is a very beautiful ceremony. But to be honest with you, like it should be for big events and big ceremonies, not just fucking a Zoom meeting. And Anzac Day is a perfect one to have a welcome to country because it is, I think, a beautiful bridging of cultures. But I think it's also been thrown in our face in certain ways. So, one, I do believe that the welcome to country needs to be scaled back a little bit and turned into a much more of a, respected ceremony. Not just something that you throw out there, but then booing it.
We should respect it anyway.
Exactly.
So.
And to boo it at such an incredible day for Australians.
It'd be interesting to see if it was a neo-Nazi as they report. Everything's neo-Nazi. Those reports.
Yeah, it wasn't a neo-Nazi. It wasn't. That was fucking. It wasn't a neo-Nazi, but it was a veteran. It
was like, doing it.
Yeah, they said, I don't want to be welcome to the country that I fought for.
But that's so dumb. That's not even what it is.
Yes,
it's not welcome to the country. Yeah, I live here. You're fucking retarded, bro. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
Welcome to country is not welcome to Australia. Welcome to country is welcome to the country of the land of that Indigenous people.
Yes.
Because Aboriginals are not one person.
No.
They're not not every Aboriginal represents the same culture and the same thoughts and same Dreamtime ideologies. There's like over 100 language groups.
Yes.
And each place, like think of America and it's got states.
Yes.
Australia has all these different areas and it's welcoming onto that area of the land from the Indigenous person. It's not welcome to Australia, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like It's so stupid. Like getting upset at it is just, it's naive. It's dumb. It's not born. It's racist. I think it has to be, but it's on the same hand. It's born out of, I think, frustration. Yeah. It's born out of a frustration of woke culture. Yeah.
Because the true meaning of it's been lost by doing it at Zoom meetings.
Yeah. And there's why would you be upset about our Indigenous Australians, which had their land stolen off them? Why would you be upset about including them in a ceremony anywhere? Yeah. Why? There's no reason to be upset. Yeah. For me, as long as it's done by a traditional owner and not just an Aboriginal person. Yeah. There is absolutely fuck all wrong with it. It's part of our culture. It's part of their culture. What a beautiful way to bring both together. Yeah. Yeah. People are saying it's divisive. It's not divisive. No. It's not divisive to have the land of the people where you live and that was taken from them to be welcomed in their ceremony. Okay. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. It just means, obviously, just that happy, that sort of, that middle line of like, don't wreck a good thing. Yeah. Don't just fucking throw it out.
I think people are seeing it's becoming corporatized. Corporatized is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. But authenticity is key in everything. Now, because it was done on Anzac, like that's even more disappointing because so many Aboriginals went and fought for Australia in a land that was fucking taken from them. Yeah. They are now pulled into a war that's not theirs that have to go and fight. For fucking 5 minutes, shut the fuck up. Let's respect our Anzacs and our vets, as well as the Indigenous Australian culture for who we were fighting for. We're here on this land, protecting the land from the people you took it from. The least you could do is let them do welcome to country. So that frustrated the shit like so disrespectful, so frustrating.
I agree.
However, the flip side of that, I think where we're getting confused is it's the acknowledgement of country that needs to fuck off. The acknowledgement needs to fuck off unless it's done right, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Yeah. Welcome to country, no issues with that. The issue I have with acknowledgement of country is, and I think that's where the lines have been blurred. Yeah. It's where you are at a corporate meeting and a white man or a white chick gets up and they go, all right, guys, thanks. Welcome to the corporation's business. Before we start, I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. Moving on to Agenda 1.
Which is...
What the fuck is that? That's just lip service. You don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like, why acknowledge it? Because you're going to do whatever you do anyway. Yeah. Like, that's where the frustration comes. Throwing that into every single fucking thing. Yeah. Bullshit. Like, fuck that off.
You have nailed it, Daniel.
And the thing that pissed me off the most, especially when I do like... When I do MC stuff for corporates, it's this one. Welcome. I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands, the Wujak Noongas, and the lands where we meet. Like,
they don't even know
if you're going to acknowledge it, learn how to fucking say, at the very minimum, at the very minimum, learn how to say what the language group is. Yeah. Right? So that's frustrating. I think the only way acknowledgement of country should be done, I think it's nice if your intent is nice, but lip service is pathetic. If you're going to acknowledge the country, maybe look into some of the Wajak Noongar people's traditions, what happened on the land you're meeting, what it was used for. I have no issue with that because then you are acknowledging it. If you've gone, just want to acknowledge the Wajak Noongar people, this part of the land was used for traditional meetings, or this part of the land used to be used for hunting. Yeah. You know, they were a nomadic tribe. Just learn something and share that, then you've done an acknowledgement of country. So that's my rant done.
It's not a rant that falls on deaf ears, Daniel. I think that's very good.
Yeah, but if you're booing, like, welcome to country at an Anzac service, like, pull your head in, cunt. Just shut the fuck up and then talk about it after. Don't boo at the time and ruin a good thing.
Daniel, I think that's one of the best things you've said on the podcast. Very nicely put there.
I wish I wrote it without swearing.
No, fuck it. Like, I think there's passion that needs to be shown in that. And very good. Yeah. You mentioned this last week, which is what prompted me to talk about this and do a little bit of research. And I love this topic anyway. It's fucking cool. I've been following April Elizabeth and her remote viewing stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how much of her stuff is right, but like...
Well, there's this stuff here...
I know she heard that because she's in the room.
But you suggesting when you're on shrooms, the going out of the you could view what was happening
Yeah,
from the outside, and
it was a feeling or of a realization that I was everywhere
And-
all at once, and time was happening fucking there. It wasn't behind me or in front of me. It was time wasn't linear. Yeah.
So I'm going to give
Which
you.
I could have been influenced by everything I've ever learnt, but at that point in time, it was very fucking insane.
So remote viewing is real enough that it's been at least acknowledged and a program set up by the CIA to run this.
CIA, yeah.
By the CIA to run this. And it didn't stop, or when they say stopped, it was shut down or put into a more secret program.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop until 1995. So it was going quite a long time.
Yeah.
But
Because they used that guy that did the Mars remote viewing.
so we'll talk about that one. But the thing that made them really start to acknowledge this as a real program was when they did something in 1973 that really validated this idea that people can remote view, and it was a real thing. So in 1973, the CIA-backed remote viewing program handed psychic Ingo Swann. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation.
You haven't acknowledged him properly.
Yeah. Ingo Swann, a target. So they've given him a target, Jupiter. So no telescope had revealed much detail. What he described was pretty incredible. And very broadly speaking, he described rings around the planet, ammonia crystals, massive storms, and even electrical phenomena in the atmosphere. Now,
Does Jupiter have rings?
yes,
Does it?
you can't even see them with a telescope.
Yeah, right.
But we didn't find this out until 6 years later. NASA's Voyager went past and confirmed everything he said. So then the CIA have gone, what the fuck? This is not a fluke. We're going to have to investigate further into this remote viewing program.
How does he remote view in space? That's so insane.
Well, generally they don't even give you a target. They give you a coordinates, and then they just
You got to try to find what's there.
they ask you to see what's there. So,
That's so interesting. I wouldn't even be able to locate the coordinates if you give me the fucking map. Like latitude, longitude. I'd be like, what?
yeah. So the first one I'm going to go through is the Mars one because that's probably the most.
And you might have seen clips of.
You might have seen clips of this
depending
one.
on your algorithm.
Yeah. So the CIA's Mars exploration remote viewing. This was in 1984 with Joseph McMoneagle.
Yep. He's like, I'm sensing chocolate, caramel, some kind of layers.
So in this session, a remote viewer has been tasked with the location corresponding to the coordinates 40.89 degrees north, 9.55 degrees west, which was later revealed to be Mars, which the reviewer reported seeing. And this was also, I think, set back to 1 million years BC as well.
So hang on, did they give him the coordinates of latitude, longitude on Earth, and because our planet shifted, it ended up being Mars? Because I don't know if you can give a latitude, longitude if you're off planet.
No, I don't think so. I think they write it down from memory. I should have exactly written this down, but I think they write it down and without an actual destination. But they know what they want you to.
Okay.
Something like I can't remember. I think it's later revealed that they wanted it on Mars.
Right.
So they've given the latitude and longitude
Without telling him.
it was on Mars. That's right. And
But
it was
just on that though. Wouldn't that be interesting if they did give a point? A million years ago, the planet would be in a different position. So
that's
it could potentially not even be on Earth.
Yeah, could
You've
potentially
moved out of though. Right, yeah.
So he reported seeing large pyramid structures. Massive obelisks, is that what they're called?
Obelisks. They're the ones
Obelisks?
with the points on the end.
Yeah. They're reminiscent of the ancient monuments. You see them at like Washington.
Yeah, they're like straight up with a point. Like
like the Washington Monument. I think they're big in Egypt as well. Tall, thin, humanoid figures described as an elder race.
Probably just the NBA team.
They appeared to be in distress or in hibernation. Evidence of a catastrophic environmental event leading to the decline of this civilization. Now, the thing that makes this so validated is that the CIA took this as relevant enough to file it as an actual documented case.
Yeah.
and redact things out of it as well, which is
interesting.
pretty crazy. So the session overview basically was that the geographical features, the viewer described large pyramid structures situated in a vast depressed area. He noted the presence of obelisks, like the Washington Monument. Channels or roads were observed, carved into valleys, suggesting infrastructure. The environmental conditions, the planet was depicted as experiencing severe global disturbances, including massive dust storms, an atmosphere which appeared misty, and on the horizon was described as weird, indicating a possible atmospheric anomalies. Can't say that word. And the inhabitants, tall, thin, humanoid figures, were described as wearing fitted silk-like clothing. These beings were associated with large functional structures that possibly used hibernation to survive. Technological, the viewer mentioned intersecting adequate light channels and structures, points at the top of the horizon. And and temporal, the viewer experienced difficulty maintaining focus, attributing the vast time distance.
ADHD.
Yeah. And he reported perceptions of cosmic events, such as passing through the comet's tail, suggesting a broader temporal awareness. So there's a couple of quotes as well that I've got from here. So you can sort of hear how he was describing it. I'm seeing it's like a perception of a shadow of people, very tall, thin. It's only a shadow. It's as if they are, as if they were there and now they're not. They're not there anymore.
Oh yeah, like a what's the word that they use in Westworld? Like a reminiscent or like a
like a memory almost.
Yeah.
And the environmental catastrophe. I get a lot of static on a line. Everything is breaking up all the time. Very fragmenty pieces. They're ancient people. They're dying. It's past their time or age, which is very interesting to see that. And this was pretty cool. They're inside of a large cavern. Not a cavern, more like a canyon. They're sheltering from storms. They put themselves in a state like hibernation to survive, waiting for something to return.
Jesus,
yeah, maybe. So that was that's like an interesting one.
You'd never be able to cheat on this guy. Where were you?
Yeah, well, just like Delby on mushrooms. Just like, what's happening over there? So the third one I want to talk about is the Ark and the Covenant.
Yeah, this is an interesting one.
So there's a fair bit of significance to this, and some of the quotes are pretty interesting, specifically the fact...
It aligns with the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, it does. But also, so you did reference that actually in that episode. But what I found interesting was the fact that so much of this was redacted. Like, why would you redact certain information? Why would the CIA redact this information?
Yeah.
So the Ark of the Covenant. So in this session, a remote viewer was unknowingly tasked with locating the Ark of the Covenant. The viewer described a container made of wood, gold, and silver, resembling a coffin adorned with seraphim. I don't know what that is.
How do you spell it? Serafin?
Phim.
Okay. Seraphim?
Seraphim.
Right.
The object being hidden underground in Middle Eastern location.
Seraphim are celestial beings, specifically a type of angel described in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions.
So
you know those photos of with the big...
Yep. Okay. So like potentially saying it was adorned with angels.
Art of angel, like you'd see in any church with the big yellow halo above. For the listeners, like you got a big yellow halo around the head.
The object was being hidden underground in a Middle Eastern location surrounded by mosque domes and Arabic-speaking individuals.
Hell yeah, free coffee.
And the container was being protected by entities only accessible to those who deemed worthy, with dire consequences for unauthorized attempts. So they
said it was protected by some sort of mechanism that would only open when we were ready to receive it.
Yeah. So the description of the object,
and you would die if you touched it.
Yeah. So
if you tried to fuck with it.
Yeah, you would suffer dire consequences.
Yeah.
But I think I've got the actual quote of what he said. So, target is a container. This container has another container inside of it. The target is fashioned of wood,
a
gold, and
babushka doll.
silver. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver, similar in shape to a coffin, and it's decorated with seraphim. So
Yeah.
you're right, yep, with the angels. The target is hidden underground, dark and wet, where all aspects of the location of the target. Visuals of the surrounding buildings indicate the presence of mosque domes, which is interesting.
That's where you have a halal flat white.
So they're sort of suggesting that it's in the Middle East somewhere.
Yeah.
And the protective entities and spiritual significance. So this was kind of interesting. So the target is protected by redacted entities. That's very
Interesting.
interesting that they
What
would
would the
redact.
most likely? What would fill in there? Target is protected by what entities? Like what would be
Jewish?
That's probably. It could be similar to the entities that showed up in Miami that they've swept under the rug. So maybe it's like, you know,
Yeah. So the target is protected by redacted entities and cannot be accessed by just anyone. There is a sense that the container is spiritually protected. Individuals who attempt to open the container without proper authority will suffer consequences enforced by its protectors, which is very interesting that is in a CIA declassified file that's been redacted heavily. But those are two very interesting ones that
I wonder if maybe there's like the true reason other than oil to going into these countries is to try and find the Ark of the Covenant. Like America have invaded Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan because they're trying to find the Ark.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
Ark.
because it's a form of, if you believe the old stories, it is
the
a form of
ultimate
energy.
paper.
Yeah. So potentially.
Yeah. Has this guy been validated though? Like, I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, the Ark of the Covenant one was only known as Viewer 79.
Yeah. So it's just I mean, when you hear that April chick talk, you're like, come on, like some of the shit she says, but then who knows? She's like,
Well-
yeah, I was in Antarctica and then I got dragged out by another fucking remote viewer.
Yeah, so-
and we could see each other. I was like,
And there's nothing to validate that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, part of me is like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I hope it's real. Like that'd be, and I do, and remote viewing is real. It's been validated by the CIA, specifically that the Jupiter situation.
Jews again, eh?
The fact that Jupiter could be shown and the things that were not known about it, even now, you can't look at it with a telescope and see the ring.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting that they didn't know there was a minor ring like Saturn around Jupiter. I guess assumingly it was a destroyed satellite or moon, and to describe all of that, the atmospheric phenomena, the ammonia crystals.
I mean, if this chick that you follow was legit, she would be muzzled and shut down by now and taken as a weapon by the government. Like, if she was that accurate,
Well, she's
they would be utilising her and she would not be allowed to be talking freely.
Well, she's also a one of like hundreds of thousands of people who claim to be able to do this. So she's one who's.
But if she was
famed
accurate,
to-
if you were the government and this person's super accurate, she's now a threat to your national security because she can get inside your vault, inside the White House, anywhere you want to go. Right? Like,
Yeah.
if you hear this person going, I can see everything, then they are a threat to your national security. So you're either going to weaponize them or you're going to incarcerate them so they can't share the secrets.
yeah,
So, like, that's where I love this idea of it,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean, the reality of it,
yeah.
if it was legit, you wouldn't be allowed to be talking about it all on Instagram. You'd be fucking locked up somewhere.
It is
know?
interesting. I wonder because
Because who's to say?
she, well, from what she says, April Elizabeth, she protects herself.
Yeah, well, not by going
And
on
that's-
fucking Instagram and sharing that you can do it.
But the other thing is obviously it's not just her. There's like hundreds of thousands of people doing this online.
Yeah.
She's just one that's become quite famous because of a couple of viral clips.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I'm thinking about it logically, I'm the government. I've got weapons of mass destruction. This chick can see everything. If she can see everything, she now will know how to access our weapons of mass destruction, which means that our enemies could kidnap her, force her to give it over, and it's all over.
But that would be the government recognizing that it's a real thing.
Yeah, but we wouldn't know about it. We wouldn't even know. You know, she would be suicided and kept alive. Yeah,
Speaking of suicided,
yeah,
what the fuck? In our own backyard.
yeah,
That was pretty hectic.
yeah.
The
Victoria Jeffrey.
I can never pronounce her name.
Gouffre?
Gouffre?
Don't know.
Or yeah. Anyway, Victoria.
Well, this is where you look into that article. Like, is it a conspiracy? Did she really just have a liver that was failing and was in pain and wanted to die?
She said that week, "I am not suicidal." She posted it.
Isn't that an ultimate like fuck you though? Like she's setting him up. Like you could go, I'm not suicidal, then suicide, and everyone will blame them.
Not when you're accusing.
Yeah.
Not when you're accusing them. Like it's just too. This is where it happens in plain sight. The scary thing is, it was in our own backyard.
Yeah, so maybe we just don't comment on it.
Yeah.
I value my life.
I didn't know she was residing in WA.
Ocean Reef.
Ocean Reef. Yeah. Why did we not get her on?
So good.
I'm glad.
So lucky we didn't.
Oh mate, like around the corner.
Yeah, everyone.
That's a few k's from my house.
I'm not suicidal. Just want everyone to know.
I'm not suicidal. I am not suicidal.
Yeah.
I love my family.
Yeah.
I love my life. I'm going good.
Samey.
But yeah, is this what I messaged you? I was like, I'm actually kind of glad we didn't know she was here. Because if we had known, we would have pushed to get her on. More than likely. I think we would have got her on because she was pretty vocal about talking about it. She was doing Zooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Would that have put us in harm's way?
Probably. You never know, man.
Probably.
Yeah. And on that high note, we're just going to do some Patreon stuff real quick, a little 10-minute Patreon.
Yeah.
Then I've got some weddings to attend.
Yes, if you want to join the Patreon, you'll be able to hear all the stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to show some videos from Blaze, and there's an article that I just don't feel comfortable talking about publicly, but behind closed doors is funny.
Oh, I love that. Anything you want to plug before we
Yes,
start?
please support. I've already said in the app. Astor Theatre, May 17, May the 10th, The Confessional, and May 16, I'm doing my other solo show with all my new material, #The Ick. That's upstairs at the Regal. So come check it out in Perth, and then I'm on holiday. So going to go over to Melbourne for the Dreamtime game.
Lovely. I have nothing to plug except for the podcast.
Cool.
Listen, which you already are.
Thank you.
All right. Hooroo.
Peace.